Hello students, I am Dr. Mahima Sharma and today's topic is energy flow in ecosystem. As we know that term ecosystem was given by A.G. Tinsley, and according to him, a system formed by the integration of all living and non-living components of environment is ecosystem. According to Ernest Haeckel, it is the relation of organic and inorganic components interacting each other and energy flowing from one trophic level to another. According to Auden, ecosystem is a functional and basic unit of ecology. So in next picture we are seeing the basic components of ecosystem, which are of two types, These are essential and non-essential components. The essential components include sunlight, nutrients, which are the non-living or abiotic factors, whereas green plants, decomposers and transformers, which are the living components or the biotic factors. Non-essential components include herbivores, parasites, scavengers, saprophytes and carnivores. They are non-essential and these are the living components. So these are the basic components of ecosystem. The ecosystem can be of two types. One is natural and other one is artificial or man-made. These are few examples of natural ecosystem, including tropical rainforest, temperate rainforest, coniferous forest, which are taiga, tropical grassland, savanna, temperate grassland, Mediterranean, deserts, tundra and mountains. These are the few examples of natural ecosystem. Now we come to the artificial ecosystem. Artificial ecosystems are man-made ecosystem, and they are designed for a specific purpose. Therefore, biodiversity will be very low compared to the natural ecosystem. There are few examples of artificial ecosystem, which include the crop field, garden, terrarium, greenhouse, zoo, aquarium, fish farm, dam and artificial wetland and zoo. Now we will study the terrestrial and aquatic kind of man-made ecosystem or artificial ecosystem. So terrestrial artificial ecosystem are the greenhouse. Greenhouse is a structure with walls or roof which are basically made up of transparent material, maybe a glass, and plant required a regulated climatic condition which are grown here. Now agriculture crop fields like paddy field, wheat field, gardens, parks, zoos, terrarium. What is terrarium? Terrarium is a glass garden, Vajin case of vivarium enclosure with glass sides, or sometimes a glass top, arranged for keeping plants or terrestrial or semi-terrestrial animals indoor. Now managed forestry. A sustainable forest is a forest that is carefully managed so that the trees are felled, they are replaced with the seedlings and eventually grow into the into a mature tree. Now aquatic artificial ecosystem includes the fish farms, aquarium, dams, hydroponics. It is the method of growing plants without soil using mineral nutrient solution. It links aquatic organisms, microorganisms and plants into the artificial ecosystem. Artificial pond in connection with the waste treatment plants. Artificial wetlands or constructed wetlands. These are the few examples of aquatic man-made ecosystem. Now the term food chain. Now what is food chain? Food chain refers to the sequence of events in an ecosystem where one organism eats another and then eaten by the another organism. It starts with the primary source, which is the basic sunlight or hydrothermal vents, where producers make their food, continues with the consumers and or animals who eat the food, and then end with the top predator. Now the idea of food chain was first of all analyzed or proposed by Charles Elton in 1927, and he has recognized that the food chain is found mostly limited to the 4 to 5 links, and the food chain is not isolated and it is mashed together or hooked together, and it finally forms food webs, or it is also known as food cycles. The feeding interaction represented by the food web may have profound effect on a species richness or community and ecosystem productivity and stability, according to Rickleffs 2008. Now the food chain, how it is composed of. Food chain show how energy passes through an ecosystem. When one organism is eaten by another, most of the energy is lost and little bit gets transferred to the consumer. The first link in the chain goes to the producer, like plants. They use energy from sunlight to make their own food. through the process of photosynthesis. Consumers get their energy from the food they eat. The primary consumers, like rabbits or insects, eats plants. They are also known as herbivores. The next few links in the chain consist of animals that eat other animals. The first one is carnivores, like snakes or weasels, who eats herbivores. You might also found there is omnivores who eat on both plants and other animals. Often there are secondary, tertiary, and quaternary consumers that are occupied in this space. Now these consumers are eaten by the scavengers or the top consumers, and we are seeing here that the consumers at the top of the food chain is often called as apex predator or top level consumers. The last step of a chain goes to decomposers, like fungi that use the remains of organisms to grow. These feeding orders are needed to maintain a delicate balance in the environment, and each member is essential to keep population sizes within the carrying capacity. So if any one of the chain get disturbed, each kind of ecosystem will get disturbed. Now we are studying the food chains on lands, or the terrestrial food chains, which we will study right now. Land-based food chain represent the most familiar forms of nature to humans. Everything ultimately derives its energy from the sun, and most food chains follow the pattern: herbivores, carnivores, and then one or two apex predators. But there can almost endless diversity within that pattern, and even a few chains that can break it. So there is an example of terrestrial food chain. We are seeing here this food chain is showing producers, consumers, and top consumers, and also the decomposers. Now first of all, the sunlight is taken by the plants, and then these plants are eaten by, they may be the grass or small plants which are eaten by the rabbit or herbivore. Small herbivores and mammals may be rabbit, herbivores insects, and then rabbit is eaten by the fox, or which is a large predator, and or by the small predator, they may be the snake, and then it is eaten by the hawk. And then in other, where grasshopper is eaten by the predatory arthropods, maybe the large spiders, and then they are eaten by the hawk or the owl. So here is a chain of producer and then consumers. Now we will go to the decomposers. Here we are seeing that other organic material like waste product, dead organic matter, debris are taken by fungi or bacteria or the earthworms, and they release the soil nutrients, which further is absorbed by the plants, and then these plants are eaten into the by the consumers, and it is rotating into the food chain. So this is the terrestrial food chain, which is shown here, and the picture is credited by Encyclopedia Britannica. Now this is the picture of aquatic ecosystem, which is showing that diatoms and other phytoplanktons form the foundation of ocean food chain. So these are actually the one cell life magnified cell, which may be the diatoms or other phytoplanktons, which were eaten by the shrimp like creatures. Magnified, it is seen here, and now they are eaten by the small fishes, then into the medium sized fishes, mackerel, these are the example is given. Now the next is tuna is eaten by the large sharks. So there is a food chain which is seen in the ocean. So and this picture is also taken by the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now we are studying the principles of food chain. What are the principles of food chain? The components of food chain occupy different trophic level, as we all know. Producer occupy the first trophic level, and the consumer, primary consumer, then the secondary, and then up to so on, like tertiary, quaternary, etc. A particular organism may often occupy a different trophic level of food chain. For example, man may either eat the grains or the flesh of goat that feeds on the plant, thereby occupying two different trophic levels at the same time. The shorter the food chain, the greater the availability of energy, or the greater the growth of the organism at the end of chain. At each transfer in the food chain, a large proportion, often 80 to 90% of the potential energy is lost as a heat. For example, in a pond ecosystem, the shorter food chains are seen, like phytoplanktons are eaten by silver carp, like macrophytes are eaten by the grass carp. So these are the very small. These are the example of small food chains. There are two type of food chains are seen in ecosystem. One is grazing food chain and other one is detritus food chain. Now grazing food chain. What are the grazing food chain? It starts from the green plant base, goes to grazing herbivores and onto the carnivores. It can be of two types. Number one, predator food chain, where the sequence of organisms are generally from small to big. Whereas in parasitic food chain, the organisms tend to decrease in size as one goes higher up to the food chain. So now the second one. During 1920s and 1930s, the pioneer British ecologist Charles Elton studied the ecology of Arctic lands. And the example was of predator food chain. The most important producers are reindeers, lichens. These are Cladophobia species, which is given here in the chart. Cladophobia species was eaten by, this is the grasses and sedges and willows. It is eaten by caribou reindeer, then or by lemmings, Arctic grouse, or ptarmigan. Now, these caribou or reindeer can be eaten by men or wolf, Arctic white fox, whereas lemmings can be eaten by wolf, Arctic fox, snowy owl. So this is the food chain which was seen in the area which is of Arctic land. So plants together with the grasses, sedges and willows form diet to the caribou, to the of its ecological counterpart, the reindeer. These animals in turn preyed by the wolves or humans. Now the next, these are the examples of parasite food chain. Now we will see the parasite. These were the predatory food chain. Now parasitic food chain. Parasitic food chain, the example can be see that roots of vegetable crops are parasitized by nematodes, on which may be attached bacteria or other smaller organisms are seen. Roots of vegetable nematodes, bacteria, are eaten by bacteria. Mammals, birds are parasitized by flea, which in turn have protozoan parasites of the genus Leptomenace species. Another example we see, mammals or birds are parasitized by fleas, and then Leptomenace. Fleas are parasitized by the Leptomenace species. So these are the example of parasitic food chain. Both parasites and predators are consumers. A parasite of a green plant is herbivorous, whereas animal parasite falls into the various carnivorous categories. So these are the example of parasitic food chain. Now we will study the examples of detritus food chain. Or what is the detritus food chain? Detritus food chain passes through the dead organic matter to the microorganism and then to the detritus feeding organism, detritivores, and then predators. The example of detritus food chain is like mangrove leaves, which was studied by Auden and Held in the brackish zone of southern Florida. They found that the red mangrove, Rhizophora mangle, fall their leaves. The warm, which is found in the warm shallow water, their leaves are fall. A key group of small species meiofauna comprising of only a few species. It is seen that only about 5% of the leaf material is grazed upon or used by the animal or eaten by the animal, and the rest is acted upon by the microorganisms because they fall down. So, a key group of small organisms, meiofauna, comprising of only a few species, ingest large quantities of detritus because they were fallen down. Along with that, the associated microorganisms and smaller quantities of algae. The meiofauna in estuaries consist of small crabs, shrimps, and nematodes eat on these fallen leaves or detritus food. So this was the example of detritus food chain. It is shown in the picture that mangrove tea lost its leaves. A few leaves are eaten by the fauna which is found there, and a large amount of fallen leaves are used as the detritus food by the organisms which were present here, and they are forming a long food chain where these are taken. The both kind of food chains are present here. We can see the predatory as well as the detritus kind of food chain. So the particles ingested by these detritus consumers pass through the guts of many individuals, organisms, and species in succession, a process of coprophagy resulting in the extraction and reabsorption of organic matter until the substrate has been exhausted. Small fishes feed upon the detritus food. Now, in nearly all ecosystems, some of the net production is consumed as living plant material and some is consumed later as a dead plant material. Therefore, in all ecosystems, the grazing and detritus food chain are interconnected. The detritus chain ends up in a manner similar to the grazing pathway, but the way in which the two chains begins is quite different. These are the difference which are seeing in the we are seeing in detritus and predator food chain or grazing food chain. The detritus food chain is more complex, less understood, and in many ecosystems it is very important. So what is food web? Now we will come to the food web. What is food web? Food web can be described as who eats whom. Diagram that shows the complex. We will show the diagram which will show the relationship of ecosystem in a web. The concept of food web was credited to Charles Elton in 1927, and he described it as in a book which is Animal Ecology. And in this, the interconnectedness of all ecosystem are seen. Now, food web is an important ecological concept, and basically, food web represents feeding relationship within the community. It is given by Smith and Smith. According to Crabb, it is a transfer of food energy from its source in plants through herbivores to carnivores. Normally, food webs consist of a number of food chains meshed together. Each food chain is a descriptive diagram, including a series of arrows, each pointing from one species to another, representing the flow of food energy from one feeding group of an organism to the another. There are two kinds of food chains we see: the grazing food chain beginning with autotrophs, whereas detrital food chain beginning with the dead organic matter. It is given by Smith and Smith. In a grazing food chain, energy and nutrient move from plant to herbivores, consuming them, and to the carnivores or omnivores. Whereas in detritus food chain, it started from the decomposers and then detritus food then to the consumers. Now the food web definition. What is food web? Food web is also known as food cycle. It is typically credited to Charles Elton, who first introduced it in his book. We have studied it here. Now we are seeing the trophic levels in a food chain. There are basically, we are seeing in this picture, which is credited to Nature's Education, and in this picture we are seeing a simple 6-member food web, where the plants which are eaten by grasshopper or the squirrel, then they are this grasshopper is eaten by the scorpion, whereas squirrel is eaten by the fox or a eagle. So here we are seeing what we are seeing the trophic levels: first, which is primary producer; second, primary consumers; third, which is secondary consumer; fourth, which is tertiary consumer. And the producers are autotrophs, and these are the secondary consumers. Second trophic level, which is showing primary consumers, are herbivorous; third, which are secondary consumers, are primary carnivorous; and then fourth, the tertiary consumers are secondary carnivorous. So these are the basic trophic level we see. Food chains or food webs. Now what is the difference in food chain, or what is the interconnectedness between the food chain and food web? In ecology, a food web describes the feeding connections between the organism in a biotic community. Both energy and nutrients flow through a food web, moving through organism as they are consumed by an organism above them in the food web. A single path of energy through a food web is called food chain. Now we are studying the types of food webs. Food webs describe the relationship, links or connection among the species in an ecosystem, but the relationship varies because of the importance of energy flow and dynamics of the species population. Some trophic relationships are more important than others. How energy flows through the ecosystem. Some connections are more influential on species population changes based on the different ways in which species influence one another. Robert Penney proposed three types of food webs based on the species of rocky intertidal zone. He studied the rocky intertidal zone. Penney studied rocky intertidal zone, which was on the coast of Washington, and connect. He has given the three types of webs, food webs. One is the connectedness webs or topological food webs, which emphasize feeding relationship among species portrayed as links in a food web. Energy flow webs, the second one, quantify energy flow from one species to another. Thickness of an arrow reflect the strength of this relationship. Functional webs represent the importance of each species in maintaining the integrity of a community and reflect influence on the growth rate of other species population. So we will see in the picture, we are seeing a picture which is of soil food web. Here is the soil food web, which is aggregated by the Nature's Education. In this food web, we are seeing that the picture is depicting in picture we are seeing a tree which is taking sunlight to for the synthesis of their food, and then the organic matter is taken by the small fungus and bacteria, then they are eaten by the primary consumers. This is eaten by the primary consumers, and then the secondary and tertiary consumers are seen here. This is the food web of soil. Now we are seeing that the increase in toxic substance like man-made persistent organic pollutants, which is also known as POPs, can have a profound impact on the species within a ecosystem. So we are coming to the next type of food web we are seeing in the picture, like the example of food web which is given by Matthew C. Perry. Wikipedia is credited for this. There are a number of different types of animals or species we are seeing here. and they are also showing different types of food webs, and according to which differ in how they are constructed and what they are showing to emphasize in relation to the organism within the particular ecosystem. They are depicting, scientists can use they are showing the connection of each food chain to another, and they are forming the food web along with the energy flow of fossils like functional food webs, which are seen here. We are seeing the primary producers, then herbivores, they are maybe birds, the primary consumers, then to the secondary consumers and the tertiary consumer. So various kind of food chains which are found interconnected to each other. Now the another kind of food chain which a food web which is showing here is the food web shows the interaction between organisms across trophic levels in Lake Ontario ecosystem. Primary producers are outlined in green, they are just below, and then primary consumers are in orange, the secondary consumers are in blue, the tertiary consumers are in purple. They are the apex consumers. The tertiary consumers are the apex consumers. So the picture accredited to Nature's Education. Now the energy movement, the most important thing, how the energy flows into the different trophic levels. It begins with the energy from the sunlight, then to the autotrophs. The autotrophs are consumed by the consumers, and then energy is transferred from one trophic level to the another. Approximately 10% of energy that is transferred from one trophic level is converted into the biomass. Biomass refers to the overall mass of an organism or the mass of all the organisms that exist in the given trophic level. Since organisms spend energy to move around and go about their daily activities, only a few part of energy is transferred to the other next trophic level. This is also the example of another food web you can study in this. It's just an example, so you see this and try to understand this. So the whole concept is that various kind of food chains are interconnected to each other, giving rise to the food web. Now this is the image which is showing the energy flow through ecosystem. In this picture we are seeing that there are producers, which are taken by the primary consumers, then secondary consumers, then to the tertiary consumers and scavengers. Now we are seeing here generally we study the two type of food webs, which are one is of grazing type and one is of detrital type food web. Food web when Lake Ontario food web was studied, was of three types. Now we are studying the two types of food web. This example is the meadow ecosystem. Like there is grazing food web of plants and animals that provide inputs of detrital food web of bacteria, fungi, and detritivores. The detrital web is shown in simplified form in brown band and the bottom of the diagram, as we have studied in the diagram before. As in this picture, we are seeing the both kind of food webs, like detritus as well as grazing type of food web we are seeing here. Yes, this is the picture where this is the brown colored blocks as showing the detritus food chain, whereas the green, whereas the plants are taken by the consumers, was a grazing food web. Now, the grazing food web of plants and animals that provide inputs for detrital food web of bacteria, fungi, and detritivores. The detrital web is shown in simplified form in brown. Okay. Now, the next. Yes. Now, the energy flow in ecosystem. How the energy flows? We are seeing a pyramid here, ecological pyramid. Now in this we are seeing that light energy is consumed by primary producers. Then this we are seeing that 20,000 kilocalorie per year the energy is stored as a biomass by the primary producers. Later on, only 10% of energy is transferred to the primary consumers, and then we are seeing up to 10% is transferred to the next secondary consumers, and later on another 10% energy is transferred to the next level. So we are seeing, because there is the release of heat we are seeing in this ecological pyramid. It is very nicely depicted here in this picture. The decomposers are taking that taking that energy. As an example, we are discussing it here now. So what is he what we are seeing here is that in each trophic level a significant amount of energy is dissipated as heat as organism carries out cellular respiration and go about their daily lives. Some of the organic molecules an organism eats cannot be digested and leave the body as a feces, poop, rather than being used. Not all the individual organism in a trophic level will get eaten by the organism in the next level up. Some instead die without being eaten. The feces and uneaten dead organisms become food for the decomposers who metabolize them and convert them into the heat. So there is a 10% loss, 10% and only 10% of energy is transferred to the next trophic level. And in our next video we will study the 10% law of Odin and another energy flow concepts which were given by different scientists, and also about the ecological pyramids. Thank you.